p.m. live. So one thing you can do is
Ooh. Oh, there we go. That's my face. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to close the door. Door's very stiff. Good. We're live. Go live. Hello, everybody. Just give me a minute, a second to get started here. What do I need to do? I need to share this. And hopefully this link will show my face. I'm going to test that because last time I got it wrong. Does it show my face? 200 plus watching now. Sure hope so. Oh, a 4-minute Home Depot ad. That's so good.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay, we're going to mute that. We don't need that right now. That's we don't need that. Skip ad. Yep, that's my face. Okay, I'm going to tweet this. Just because I'm not interacting with you yet doesn't mean I don't love you. I'm going to close the tab how to live stream on YouTube that I always need. I just saw a tweet from Alex Xero. Reminder, Kyle Dubas will be in studio on Primetime Sports after my 6 o'clock update. As if I couldn't have picked a worse time to do a live stream. Live stream is live. All super chat money will go to Easter Seals Ontario. That's, if you were here last time, that'll go towards Rachel's Raiders, which is my hockey team that I'm going to be playing in for a celebrity hockey tournament, raising money for Easter Seals Ontario. CP already donated $2. Love Sniping gave £5. My goodness. I love you, Steve. John Tavares is a Leaf. That's true. It's not a question. That's a statement of fact. I was hoping to mostly do questions. Listen, I wanted to do a video today, and I didn't know what to do. I thought about doing the roster preview video. I just don't want to do that yet. I'm going to do it. Or a roster prediction video. I have an idea of who I think is going to make the team, and I'll probably talk to you about that. Thought about talking about Duchesne. I'm sure you'll ask about it. Probably talk about it, but I didn't want to do it in video form, hard cut video form. I know we're going to talk about it on the podcast tomorrow. By the way, we're going to be recording early, so there's no need for the No Sleep Squad. Unless, of course, you just like abusing your body and brain. You can do it. Of course. That's no problem. So I just decided I'll do a live stream instead. I'll do a live stream. It'll be good. Probably just got home from school. Maybe you got home from work. Hopefully this is a welcome, lovely thing for you. Thank you, Brendan Gillis, for the $2. Are you worried about Nylander? Listen. I'm starting to get that way. I know I shouldn't be because only a couple days ago I said I was fine. He's pissing me off. And Babcock brought up a good point, I thought. If you want to be ready, you got to be playing. And look, Nylander's got 2 years of experience with Matthews already. As if Patrick Marleau is the hardest player to play with. I don't think he's going to have a problem in that regard. However, the power play, man. The power play is totally changing. It's completely changing. And as of right now, we don't 100% know if Nylander's going to be on that top unit. He's not going to be on any unit if he's not signed. And if he's not careful, he's going to get left behind. What happens if he does miss some games? I don't think that's going to happen. But what happens if he does miss some games and the Leafs kick complete ass? It's not going to be nice for him. I mean, I don't know. I look at it this way. He's going to be rich no matter what. Sign the thing, will he? That's easy for me to say. Very easy for me to say. $5. CHF. What is that? That's from Ellie Brew. Can we have Matthews back here in Zurich, please? I guess I got my answer. And Dustin Stryline. Just reminiscing on the 2 games Nylander played with Marner last year. He needs to sign tonight. Man, oh, I forgot about that. Now, that was a rough time of the season because Matthews was out. But that line of, what was it, Nylander and Marner on either side of Marlowe? That was yummy. Would have been better with Matthews. Ellie Brew. Can you have Matthews back in Zurich? No. That was easy. Sorry. Roman Polak isn't a Leaf. That's from Bailey Martin. Man, did Jordan Subban give me a heart attack last night? I'm like, no, not again! Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's just wearing 46. It's not him. It's the new guy. Hello, Jordan. It's okay. I'm the guy who yells. I'm sorry. Hello, I've spoken to your brother. Actually, both of them. They both think I'm weird. I'm sorry. Okay. And that's how I met Jordan Subban. Is he's in my room right now, and I had to apologize for screaming at him. We're at 967 viewers right now. That's a thing. 6-7, of course. Let's get up to 1967. That'd be wonderful. Craig Kilcup. What did that cup ever do to you, Craig? Love your videos and podcasts. Thank you. Thank you very much. Andrew Turnsek. $10. Steve, which of the following beers should I have right now? Okay. Tom Green Summer Stout. Rifleman's Ration Brown Ale. Should I be charging these companies for... Okay. Wind and Sail Dark Ale. Optimal Wit. Harvest Gold Pale Ale. Beer Snob Belgian Rye Ale. I would probably, if I was at a bar, order the Rifleman's Ration Brown Ale. Because I like a brown or an amber when it comes to a beer. But... because we're clinging to summer, even though it's officially not summer. Maybe go with the Tom Green Summer Stout. Also, Tom Green is Canadian, so that's lovely. Clayman, thanks for guesting on the Winged Wheel podcast the other day. It was great to hear you talk a little bit about the Wings. See, I was like, yeah, I felt really good about myself, and then I knew a lot about the Wings. Then he goes, opinions on Dennis Cholowski. Buddy, I'm out of my depth. I'm sorry. You can take your money back if you want. I don't know who that is. Let's look up. We're going to look up right now. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to look up Dennis. We're going to look up Dennis. Cholaus. You made this person up. Watch, it's going to be like a porn name or something. That's why I'm typing it into HockeyDB and not Google. Turns out he's a first-round pick in 2016, and I ought to know him. Last year, played with the Portland Winterhawks. He was a defenseman. 27 points in 32 games, just 32 games. Oh, I see. Split season. What on earth happened there? So this is actually a really interesting player. He was with the Prince George Cougars in the WHL, 37 games, 13 goals, 26 assists for 39 points. That's amazing. Then he goes to the Portland Winterhawks in 32 games, or it might have been the reverse. 1 goal, 26 assists, 27 points. And then I look at the playoffs, 12 games played, 5 goals, 2 assists. Boy, well, he's got offensive potential. I'll give you that. And, you know, he's 6'1", 200 pounds every time he steps onto the ice. But you know what? I don't coach that team anymore, so I don't really care. He's from Langley, BC. He sounds like a good Langley, BC man. And Red Wings used to have good players, and they don't really have the greatest players right now, but they're going to have some good players, and maybe he can be a good player for that team. Why, did he do something bad? I don't know. Never know. Rock flippin'. Greetings from the Philippines. EK65 isn't a Leaf. Well, good for you. You stink. I went to a bakery today with Filipino owners. It's where I grew up, right at like Port Union, right by Sir Oliver Mowat. That was my high school. And that place has been open for like at least 30 years. They used to have little gingerbread men cookies with like Elmo and Grover and stuff like that. And they still make them. I got a gingerbread man with a Dalmatian head today. I don't know why I told you that. Mike Farino, Isles fan here. With the Isles moves the last few days, do you believe the Isles are actively trying to lose, or do you think Lou and Trotz believe this roster is their best chance to win? Lou, I feel bad. It's easy to dump on Lou. It's easy to dump on Marc Bergevin. But those guys, well, Marc Bergevin for a variety of reasons, but the whole not even getting a meeting with Tavares, swinging and missing on O'Reilly, like he's tried on a number of things and just kept swinging and missing. I think a lot of that is his own fault, his own doing. When it comes to Lou, man, I think he tried. He tried a number of things and he just swung and missed, lost out, and he's looking at the pile now and going, what's the best I can do? Lucas Pisa, sure. Now, I would like to think that a forward thinker, maybe a young GM, maybe with thick frame glasses, I don't have any names in mind, would think a little bit more outside of the box and get someone cheaper than Lucas Pisa, who's $1.5 million and maybe younger. Spiza's not that great. So that doesn't bode well for the Islanders. I wonder if Spiza is going to play in Oshawa on Friday night when the New York Islanders take on the Buffalo Sabres in Oshawa in John Tavares' return. Was that? Oh, he's a Leaf? John Tavares is a Leaf. I'm sorry. So Cal Clutterbuck and Josh Bailey will be in town. And a couple others. Calvin no, he's gone too? Okay. Which team? Carolina? Well, who's on Carolina these days? Oh, no one's there? I'm just talking to the door? I should stop. You're right. MKMK, NHL 19 review. I don't want to do an official review. I don't know if I'm the best gamer in the world. And I was a little turned off because I bought it. I didn't get a review copy this time. I actually bought it with my own money. I'm not going to lie. I got used to getting hashtag free stuff. And I didn't get it this time. So I bought it and then it crashed like the first 5 times I tried to use it. And I'm like, thanks. Enjoyable. Great. And now it's good, but I got to explore it more. I don't understand how anyone does a proper review of a game in like the day or two that they have it ahead of schedule. Like I used to get it when a lot of the people who review it get it. And there's no way they could have possibly gone through all the modes unless that's all they did. They just dedicated 2 or 3 days to it, which I just don't have the time to do. I'm making videos, I'm doing live streams, I'm doing podcasts, I'm going to meetings at Sportsnet, I'm doing all sorts of other stuff. Believe me, I would love to. I just don't have the time for that, man. I'm going to stream some of that. Okay? I promise. Evan Huber, by the way. Evan is the guy who drew the cartoon of me screaming at Jesse for calling my barbecue a meeting! It was a barbecue. Evan Huber. Hey, Steve. You can expect a new SDP animated around October 6th. Thanks so much to everyone for your patience. Hello. Well, that's my boss. Am I fired? Ooh, okay. Yeah, good point. Someone may or may not be getting chirped for doing a live stream at the exact same time as a Kyle Dubas interview. No, actually, I'm being asked to react to the Kyle Dubas interview, so I'm going to watch it after this, and maybe you'll get a double dose. Maybe you'll get another video. There you go. Evan, maybe send me a quick Twitter DM or something with that website where people can buy you a coffee so that people can fund your animations. Because I don't know if you know this, animation takes forever, and it ain't cheap. And Evan may or may not know something about the LFR 12 intro that you don't. Spoiler! Andrew Doobie, that's your name? Cool. What's your thoughts on the Leafs defense? Boy, poor Connor. Poor Connor. I wish Connor Carrick would have stood out more in a positive way in this preseason. He didn't have he had a couple bad moments in last night's ass kicking against Montreal, which I did not feel like doing an LFR for, where I don't know, how do I just go poor Garrett Sparks the entire time? But It looked weird with him wearing an A, and I thought for the most part, considering most of the team looked pretty bad, pretty terrible. Carrick actually looked good. Did you notice how much he shot the puck? I think that's the kind of player Carrick is. He needs to have the puck and shoot it. I think he's a more offensive-minded guy. I don't know if that's exactly what the Leafs need. Babcock seems to think he needs a big Russian guy, or just someone who can hit guys and be a strong player, everyday player. Carrick is a strong guy. He's just not as big. He's got to be more responsible, man. That's plain and simple. I love him. I think he's got potential, but he's got to do. The writing is on the wall. There's a player Babcock wants in that role. Become that player. Now, you can't become 6'4", unless you find a way to escape stilts. You're not going to be able to do that. But grind, be responsible, take fewer penalties. Carrick takes way too many penalties. I think he'll get in there. That being said, Justin Hall, who I thought was starting to really creep into that role, he didn't have a great game either, and I like him. Do you like the pick of me and Rhymes? This is from Caden. Also, thoughts on the Panthers this season, and do you think they can contend? I do like your picture with James Reimer. I like any picture with James Reimer. The Panthers I ranked as the fourth best team on the Winged Wheel podcast, fourth best team in the Atlantic. But they had the potential to be third, and I put Tampa first, Leafs second, Bruins third, Florida fourth. I think the Leafs should have beat the Bruins last year. Even though they were down 3-1, they shouldn't have been. They should have won Game 4. They didn't even have Bergeron in the lineup. Why is it always Bergeron? But I'm not dwelling on that. I'm not dwelling on it at all. Florida missed the playoffs last year with more points than the Leafs made it with the year before, and they just got better over the summer. They got Bogdan Kiselevich, who was a good KHL signing. Mike Hoffman, they obviously got in the second Mike Hoffman trade. They're going to be a good team. I think they're going to be a good team, and if Luongo can recapture some of his magic from last year, if Reimer can rebound, and everybody can stay healthy, look out, man. And also, if Max Domi doesn't punch Aaron Ekblad in the face and get nothing for it. Brendan Gillis, will Erik Karlsson keep us from choking again? I assume you're a Sharks fan. Look, what I always say, do the Leafs have a shot? I say yes. They have a shot to win the Stanley Cup, and so do the San Jose Sharks, and so do maybe 8 to 10 teams in the NHL. The best team in the league rarely wins the Stanley Cup. I thought out of the Final Four last year, the teams that went to the Stanley Cup Final were the third and fourth best. The Capitals loaded up 2 years ago, lost in the second round, and then the next year won the Cup. All you can do in the NHL, because there's so much luck and injuries involved and all that, is put yourself in striking distance. The Sharks are in striking distance. Are you joking? Crazy. Slapshot Hockey. How good do you think Barzal is going to do without JT this year? Oh, goodness. Sorry, I think some stuff skipped. Oh, there we go. Man, he's still going to be sick. He's a gross player. And I was sort of looking at the Islanders forward group, and it obviously took a hit. The Islanders' problem last year, though, was not scoring goals. It was keeping the puck out of their own net. They may have taken some steps toward addressing that. I mean, Lucas Biza sort of replacing Calvin Hahn. That's not exactly the best way to do it. Robin Leonard could have a real bounce-back year. I actually kind of expect him to, I'm not going to lie. And the bar is set so low in Long Island. But in terms of the offense, I mean, like, it's almost funny. Like, the Islanders, who didn't make the playoffs last year, could almost take a hit offensively and still look good and still potentially contend for a playoff spot. And Barzal's going to lead the charge. And, I mean, that guy's a perennial 60, 70, 80, 90 point scorer in the league forever. Love sniping. I wonder if Jake and Morgan can both get 50-plus points again this year. I'm drinking Bushmills Red Bush Irish whiskey because greetings from Ireland. You didn't make a single spelling mistake. That was all my fault. My God. What was even the question? I got so thrown off there. That I'm not sure about, because there's all this talk about the Leafs using Riley and Gardner on the same pairing. I actually think they might give that a shot sooner rather than later. And if that happens, I mean, there's only one puck, right? And you can only award 2 assists, so they might actually hurt each other's point total while helping the team overall. I will take a slower offensive season from Jake if it means, you know. Kevin Landinson. I'm sorry. Hi, Steve. I'm a big fan from Sweden. What are your thoughts about the Nylander situation? Who is your dream right-handed D, and how would a possible trade look? You were so close! Oh, you were so close! You had Nylander and right-handed D in the same sentence, and you weren't talking about a trade. You were so close, Kevin! Well, I already said my thoughts on the Nylander situation. I think it's silly. I think it's about time he gets over here. Everyone's sort of getting solved. Darnell Nurse got solved. Shea Theodore got solved. Let's do this. I'd like to see him playing at least 2 preseason games. Dream right-hand D, Timothy Liljegren. Sorry, if you want a real answer. You could pay the sun and the moon for Chris Tanev, or etc., etc., etc. The Leafs have help coming. And I think their prospect pool is decent. It's better than people give them credit for. But because they've had to constantly drain it and rip prospects out of it, the shelf isn't so stocked that you can just afford to get rid of everybody for this one guy and just go for it. The Leafs have a window, but the window doesn't look like it's going to close anytime soon, so they're better off developing the guys they have. That's just my 2 cents. If you're you're a top 5 team in the league at the trade deadline, and it's pretty undeniable you're going to go for it, maybe. Andrew Doobie, what are your thoughts on the Leafs defense situation? And do they still need a stud defenseman? No, I don't think so. I think Babcock just needs to let go of some of his crutches. I think he needs to, if Ozhiganov is a Polak type, which I think is super unfair, by the way. I don't think that's what he is at all. He needs to let go of that. He needs to let go of Ron Hainsey playing 25 minutes a game. He needs to let go of, because there's so little between the Leafs, let's say 5th or 6th best defenseman, and their 9th, right? There's so little between them, in my opinion, or at least their 8th. It doesn't make sense to not start on the second half of a back-to-back a completely different pairing. And that's actually what I think he's going to do. I'm not going to lie. I think both Igor Ozhiganov and Calle Rosen make the Leafs. I don't know if they're going to be everyday players. I don't think they will be. But I think, let's say the Leafs have a Saturday-Sunday, they'd probably go Dermott Ozhiganov. And then on the Sunday, they go Rosen. No. Maybe Rosen Hall. Oh, Dermott Carrick. Dermott Hall. I don't know. There's so little between all those guys that I even got jumbled there. I think if they just use their defense a little more cleverly, and also Zaitsev takes a step, which it actually looks like he's going to, so that's good. They'll be fine. Chumplet89. Thanks for putting my photo of you that you hate out in public on a mug. She took that picture of me where I'm and looking fat. And then we put it on a shirt. Oh my goodness, I got to start answering these faster. Cameron Cruz. It's still 34 Celsius in the DFW area, FML. That's throwing too many letters at me, sir or madam. What are the chances of the Devils contending in the East? I don't know about contending, but I also would have said the Devils were going to come close to last place last year. And look at me. I don't know anything. The problem is they had such a hot start last year, and they didn't have a very good back half. They gave Tampa a little bit more hell than I expected them to, but then in the summer they didn't really do much, if anything. So I don't really see them as a contender. They could be a sleeper to do some things, and they're a young team, so they may take just a natural step forward. So there you go. Did you feed the dogs? No, I forgot. My wife is upstairs, and she's going to feed the dogs. I'm a bad dog owner. Did the Devils make the playoffs this year? Geez, 2 back-to-back Devils questions. The Metro is sort of taking a bit of a step back, or I guess maybe it's gotten a little bit more even, so they definitely got a shot. It's not guaranteed at all, though. Greg Platt. Heading to the Gens home opener on Sunday? I might. What was I going to on Sunday? I think I'm going to something on Sunday. We'll see. I also want to go to the Sabres Sabres Islanders game on Friday in Oshawa, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Thoughts on the Sabres' future from Connor Rattel. Boy, they had a fantastic summer. They had a really fantastic summer, and I hate it. As a Leafs fan, I hate it. They still got a lot of work to do. Carter Hutton looks good. That first line looks horrifying. Looks like they hit on Tage Thompson. I'm not stoked. As a Leafs fan, I'm not stoked for the future of the Buffalo Sabres. The Leafs are better now. The Leafs have a head start, so that's good. But that's a good rivalry, man. And there's already hate there, even though they're at different levels. So, you know, the guy in me who wants the Leafs to win the Cup is not super stoked about it. The guy who likes really good hockey is. Luke McGrath. Oh, my goodness. Luke McGrath just gave me $21. Thank you. There's no question. Just, here you go. Here's some money. Thank you. By the way, all money in the Super Chat. I'm only answering questions from the Super Chat. I don't know if you noticed. All the money raised is going to Easter Seals Ontario. I'm playing in a charity hockey tournament on November 9th. It's going to be in Whitby. The Eric Lindros Celebrity Hockey Classic. Actually, I can just pull the puck off here. It's from my first hockey game last year. First game puck. Ridiculous. The Celebrity Hockey Classic Series in support of Easter Seals. There's going to be, I think, 18 or 20 alumni. And every team registered has an alumni on their team. Whoever raises the most money, gets to draft the alumni they want. It's usually Eric Lindros who goes first overall. So let's say we raise the 5th most money. We get the 5th pick. And some of the guys who played last year were Nick Antropov, Steve Thomas, John Leclerc, Dennis Marouk. It was a pretty good cast. I should have brought a water down here. Getting over a cold. Sorry, Sean Perry. The lighting doesn't look as harsh in this video. Have you made some of those promised adjustments? Well, this is on my laptop. That's why. No, I haven't made those adjustments yet. I should get on that. I also need to make my intro. What's your thoughts on Adam Buckwist? Maybe by passing the London Knights, bypassing, I think is what you meant, the London Knights this year, and making the Hawks blue line straight from being drafted. I'm so mad at the Blackhawks. Why do they get everything? Why? I thought they were bad. I was just getting used to the sun setting on them. No, they desperately need help on that back end though, and he could be just what they need. Last year, I don't remember what the final total was, but the last I checked, Duncan Keith, who had about 30 points last season, had as many primary points. That's points scored, or was it primary points or even strength? Can't remember if it was primary points or even strength points. He had the same amount, which was 7, as Roman Polak. He had a bad, yucky, very bad season last year, and Brent Seabrook has obviously taken a step back as well. An added blue liner like Bachwist, if he's good, helps the Blackhawks in more ways than one. Frederick Frenson. Oh my goodness. DKK89. I don't know what a DKK is. Denmark. I should read. Hey Steve, I'm a supporter of a team in Denmark who this season has a player who was a Leaf prospect a few years ago called Jack Walker. So that's where he went. And I wanted to hear if you knew anything about him. All I know about him is we didn't know what bloody position he played. I would read he was a defender. I would read he was a winger, a left winger or whatever. I never knew what he actually was. I never really understood that pick. I never understood what the plan was. I wish him the best of luck. And thank you, my goodness, for whatever 89 DKK is. Thank you. Caleb Buchanan. What are your thoughts on Jordan Subban? You know, in a game where very few players look good, I thought he looked good. He looked good. He moved the puck well. Wasn't really a liability defensively. I think he was a -1. I know he was definitely on the ice for one. I'm not really sure it was his fault. I also don't really remember. He looked good. For a guy who's only played one preseason game and with a brand new team, good. Real good. Real good. $2 just from Jay, from a name. I don't even know. How are you? I'm good. Thanks for asking. I skated today. I did a good job, I think. I felt really good about myself, and then I bailed really hard, spun, and smacked my head into the boards. Luckily, I was wearing a helmet, but I did actually feel like a little for a minute. Other than that, I'm good. Hey, First Rock, thoughts on the Sid Sixero rant? You know what I got to do is I got to watch it. I still haven't seen it. And if I do watch it, I'll respond on the podcast tomorrow. How's that? Sid. Heard he's dumping on Leafs fans. You shut up, Sid. Sydney. Zachary Woodman. What's your reaction to the Flyers mascot? Be as dramatic as you wish. Oh my God. That mascot. That stupid mascot. What were they thinking? It's a mascot. That's what they were thinking. Mascots are for children. They're not for the adults who are complaining about it on Twitter. Mascots look wacky, okay? They look wacky. What's the green dude with the long nose and UP, and they all look friggin' weird. Carlton the Bear is pedestrian compared to the rest of them. So Gritty, which is a hilarious name, by the way, is just a goofy little mascot. He doesn't look like an actual wild animal like whatever they have in Edmonton. And even that's kind of cool. I don't care. You know what you should do is interview several dozen kids about it. What do you think? I think he's cool. I think he looks like a kid's cartoon, which is what I love. They don't make mascots for some 37-year-old named Doug who goes to a couple Flyers games a year and throws a half-full beer at the other team. They don't do that. They make it for kids. Have a little bit of wonder, childish wonder, and just let people enjoy things. For crying out loud. Was that too much? Miss Nikki Big. You donated pounds, so that's made up money. Am I being difficult for thinking about getting plane tickets to Freddie's hometown for his day with the Cup next year? Greetings from Germany, Nicole. That would be absolutely... I think about the Leafs winning the Cup a lot. And no, aren't flights within Europe like 5 cents? Like all flights, all I know is expensive flights. There's like, you can do like a cheap flight to New York or Boston, or there's a couple places in the northeastern United States that are relatively cheap. You can go to Montreal for pennies on the dollar, but that's Montreal. You can go to Ottawa for pennies on the dollar, but that's Ottawa. Nothing's close in Canada. It costs so much money. Like, I don't know how people from Toronto go to Vancouver. Because it's so expensive, and you're like, oh, I'll just drive. It's 3 days. Or something like that. Like 3 days, no sleep. Just adrenaline. If you told me the Leafs win the Stanley Cup, if I drive to Vancouver to pick it up, but I have to drive there for 3 straight days. That's the only way I could do it. No, you're not being difficult at all. Chunky Chow, what are your thoughts on the Wheeler contract? It's a lot of money. Actually, we'll get back to that. Evan Huber, who I mentioned before, who is the animator, his website, where you can support him if you want, is loading on my computer. www.ko-fi, so coffee, .com/Evan, EVANHUBER. So if you want, you can give him a coffee, which I think is $3 on the website, and it helps him make animations. I'm sorry, guys. I am just dying. Here, thoughts on the Wheeler contract. It was a little expensive, over $8 million. Like, you know, I think Jets fans will probably get all in your face if you say it's too much money, because William Nylander's probably, he's going to sign for more than we want, and it might end up being somewhere around there. The difference is William Nylander's what, 21, 22? Wheeler's going to be old by the end of that thing. James Neal's going to be old by the end of his. We've seen this movie too many times to go, great job. They didn't do a great job, but then again, the Jets have a window, right? So, you win a cup, no one cares. DeBoomin Birkin. Hey, Steve, big fan here. What did you think of Kotkaniemi and Suzuki last night? Any chance we see a good rivalry between the Leafs and the Habs this year? I don't know about this year. It depends on who makes the team. I feel like Kotkaniemi making the team might be a mistake. Suzuki could make the team, and all the talk was about Kotkaniemi because he actually, you know, he put up the points. I think he got a goal or two. Suzuki rang one right off the bar, and holy smokes, if he scores that one, they might have yanked Sparks. He might not have made it the whole game. But the Habs, for all the things I think they've gotten wrong, they're not doing this rebuild thing so bad. Dude, they got more for Pacioretty than the Sens got for Carlson, you could argue. I think Leafs-Habs games will be what they always are, no matter how good either team is. Fun. Craig Skiff. Oh, where'd it go? How dare you? I lost it. I found it. Hey, Steve, big fan of yours from California. Are Vegas and San Jose the favorites in the Pacific with their off-season trades? Now, on paper, Vegas got better. Here's the problem. Last year, on paper, Vegas was trash. So I don't know anything. Maybe being better on paper will make them trash. I really don't know. Pacioretty and Stastny, of course, are upgrades. Of course. Pacioretty and Neal is at least a wash. Of course. I'd rather have Stastny than Perron. Of course. But you're asking me to explain the unexplainable. San Jose, I mean, you can do a lot of things with an undeniable quality, even if you have weaknesses on your team. Pittsburgh has had glaring weaknesses on their roster for over a decade, but it didn't matter because they were undeniable down the middle with Sid and Gino. I'm hoping the Leafs can do that with Austin and Tavares. Now San Jose has easily the best right-hand side in the NHL with Brent Burns, Erik Karlsson, or Erik Karlsson and Brent Burns, and who cares? They have the best one without me even knowing who the third guy is. I would have said Dylan DeMello, but I know it's not him anymore. Hayden Grierson, gave $5. Thank you very much. Ranny Raouf. What is your favorite South Park episode? And did you get the Tavares doll figure? No, I have not gotten the Tavares doll yet. Figure. How dare you? My favorite South Park episode is the Fellowship of the Lord of the Rings, which is where the boys are playing Lord of the Rings. They like to go on quests, and they think they have a DVD of the Lord of the Rings when actually they mistakenly, in the Lord of the Rings case, were given a porn DVD. Hilarity ensues. They run into 6th graders. Oh, did you know that they don't like water? What I've discovered about South Park, because I've been watching a lot lately, is the more adult the show gets, I actually enjoy it a little less. Like, like Randy Marsh is arguably my favorite character, but I don't. South Park is aware of how much preaching they do, but just because they're aware of it doesn't mean I like it. Like, I'm not a huge fan of it. I like when they just get up to stupid, naive, childish hijinks like that. Like when they're mistaken. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Wold Wolf, off topic. You gonna watch the new South Park tomorrow? Probably not. No, no, not yet. Who watches things live? What, are you old? Watch it when it gets on Crave or whatever. More SEK. Christian Alexanderson. Been watching since LFR Season 2. Why? They were bad. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. By the way, all the money raised today is going towards Easter Seals Ontario. Cameron McLean. Will you please refer to the JT Mitch line as Papa and Rascal? No. 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 Who? Thank you, but no. Tristan Manny, in your opinion, who has the best logo and jersey in the league? Boy, that new Sharks jersey is nice. Big fan. Best one, Detroit, is very classic. Man, I love the Leafs' new look. I love it. I love their new look, and they haven't had it for very long, so it's still new to me, damn it. I like it. I might have to duck out and go get a water. Holy smokes. Victor Bergman, McDavid point prediction. The Oilers are going to be better this year. I think they're going to score more goals. They're going to put up more points. McDavid is going to get better. I think he's got a legit shot at 130. It's scary. Buddy Guy, how's she going, bud? Thoughts on Sparks' performance and McElhinney deciding to forget its preseason? How should DML deal with Sparks in the future? Man, Bob McKenzie yesterday on the broadcast brought it up in a way I hadn't really thought of. We keep thinking of Sparks as the backup. You know, McElhinney is a backup, and that's what he's always going to be. Sparks is young enough that he could potentially be a starter. Like, we're just going to let him walk on waivers? I don't know if that's the greatest thing. I mean, if you want to know what a goalie on waivers could give you, look what McElhinney's done. Now imagine you do that with Sparks and he haunts you for an extra decade. It's not a good look. So the Leafs, they might have to cut bait on the guy who is better right now. It's hard to argue McElhinney's not been better. And I'm a little sick of people on Twitter trying to use numbers. And look, over the past 2 seasons, when the puck comes towards Curtis McElhinney, he stops it. Over the past 2 seasons, when the puck comes towards Garrett Sparks, he stops it as well. McElhinney's been in the NHL. Sparks has not. He's gotten a few chances in the preseason, granted it's preseason, to make some stops. He has not. I think also the team has played terribly in front of Sparks, and that should be noted. It's, in the words of John Tortorella, sometimes you need a save. I'm sorry. And also, we're forgetting about Calvin Pickard. If you want my honest opinion, I think Calvin Pickard's the backup. That's just a hunch, though. Conman167. Hey, Steve. Looks like we both hit 100,000 subs at the same time. I don't have 100,000 subs. I have 89,000. Thank you very much. Subscribe. Keep at it, man. And looking forward to the season. Thank you. David Wagar. Sportsnet talked about the idea of Marner being a close or 100-point player while playing with JT. Does this deal need to get done right after Nylander? No. Play the season. Do a good job. Worry about winning a cup. Then you get your money. Also, this 100 number, I think, is lazy. It's so freaking hard to score 100 points in the NHL. And the Leafs' strength is their incredible depth, and why not use it? Like, I think 100 points is something that McDavid can do because he had to carry the team on his back. I don't think on a team where Marner's not even on a line with Nylander or Matthews or Marleau, he can put up 100 points. I think they're all going to be good. The Leafs could have like 6 guys hit 60 plus points. And like last year, I don't think they had anyone who was like in the top 30 in scoring or something like that. And they were still one of the best offensive teams in the league. So this Marner 100 points thing, he might actually do it. He is that good, and he's going to be playing with JT. But where did it come from? I don't get where it came from. Lucas Palmieri. Hey, Steve. I'm a huge fan. Thank you. I love the videos and podcasts. Thank you. Can't wait for the book. Thank you. And who loses to the Leafs in the Cup final? Please, the Sharks. Because it'll just be one more way to piss off the Sens. It's always, has nothing to do with the Sharks. I would feel bad. There's a very short list of teams who have been to the Stanley Cup final but have never won the Cup, and they're on it, and I feel bad. But if it comes down to Sharks and the Leafs, you're done. Someone retracted their message for $1. Thank you. Alyssa Gillespie. Since you finally read/listened to Harry Potter, which book was your favorite, and who is your favorite character? Ooh, I'm going to actually do a Harry Potter video at some point. I want to do like a crazy half-hour Odyssey just on Harry Potter. Favorite book? Really liked Order of the Phoenix. I'm re-listening now. I'm on Goblet of Fire. Ron and Harry are not on speaking terms at the moment. That's not really a spoiler. There's 7 books. They're bound to fight. Man, the Deathly Hallows was awesome, bro. I really liked it. A bit confused by the ending, parts of it, not gonna lie. But it is a really good book. It's definitely the best movie. And I didn't really like the movies very much, but that was a good one. The second one especially, because I forgot that they split it into 2 because money! And also, the audiobooks are like something like 150 hours. The movies are 2.5 each. So they split the second book into 2 movies that were both very long, and weirdly, those are the best ones. It's hard to make a good movie for a book that long. Favorite character. I love... So Jim Dale is the narrator of the books, and the characters he brings to life the best. I don't know if they're my favorite characters, but they're my favorite to listen to because I just love the way he brings them to life, are the Weasley twins, Fred and George. Just, I wish they were my brothers. Even though they would pick on me, and I would resent them a little bit, they seemed like they would be a lot of fun. I would be the annoying little brother trying to tag along with them. I like what Neville Longbottom becomes. I like Dumbledore, obviously. I'll save this for the actual video. How's that? Ben Young. If the Leafs theoretically traded Nylander, ideally they don't, who would you want as fair return? No. There is no scenario where I'll be happy if the Leafs trade Nylander. They would have to, it would have to be a clear fleecing, and I don't even know what a fleecing would be. Carlson. Don't go saying Steve thinks that Nylander is worth Carlson. That's not what I said. It would have to be a clear fleecing, though. Dubas said, and he put himself in a bit of a bind by saying this, but he said, we can and we will. And with that, you better. You better. You said you were going to sign Nylander. You better do it. Okay? Okay? Like I'm scolding him. Jonas Lindgren, SEK159. I don't know what that is. But thank you. Sounds like a lot. Love you, Steve. Here's 53 SEK for every game Pierre Hedin played as a Leaf. Shouts out Pierre Hedin. He was a star in the Swedish league for Modo, or however you pronounce it. I played as Modo in NHL 06 because they had all the lockout rosters from that year. So, like, Moto, who I don't think did very well that season, but they had, like, the Sedin twins, Peter Forsberg. Ooh, they had someone on defense, too, who was really good. Alex Wenberg. Alex Steen, I think, was on that team, and obviously Pierre Hedin. Maybe he's the defender I'm thinking of. So that was or whatever, Swedish Elite League team. Rennie Raouf. Did you hear Kawhi Leonard's laugh on Raptors Media Day? Yes. None of the stars know how to laugh. None of the Toronto sports stars know how to laugh. They're all brutal. Fash out. Okay. Who would get the Leafs closer to a cup? Voinov or Wickenheiser? I have a very simple answer for that. One of the people you mentioned is in the National Hockey League. The other is not. Slava Voinov is not an NHL player. He's not on NHL staff. He's nothing in the National Hockey League, other than I think the Kings hold his rights. The Toronto Maple Leafs, however, pay Hayley Wickenheiser. They pay her bills. Well, not that she has any bills that need to be paid. She's also a long-time Olympic star, etc., etc., longest resume in women's hockey history. So the answer is the Leafs have a really good shot at winning the Cup this year, so therefore Wickenheiser. She's going to get a ring before him. Wait, he's already got a ring. Well, she's going to get a new ring before him. There you go. Yeah, I made a point. Brown again. Now that you've read the Harry Potter books, what series are you going to read next? I suggest Dune. Congrats on learning how to skate. Learning-ish. Yeah, I'm still figuring that out. I have listened to more. I know Ken Reed has an audiobook, at least one, and I want to download that because I could just listen to Ken Reed talk. I think it's Hockey Card Stories, or it might be One Night Only. I don't even care. I just want to hear about hockey, and I want to hear Ken Reed talk. So that might be next. That's not a series, I know. I listened to Beartown. Can't remember the name of the author. Swedish, I believe. It takes place in Sweden. It's a really good book. It's a hockey book that is very hockey and also very not. And I highly recommend it. And I encourage you, if you don't like it at first, to push through it and allow yourself to be out of your comfort zone. Intense book. Really good. I liked it. New series? I don't know. Possibly podcast. I'm going to be in the car a lot. I don't know. I'm still only on Goblet of Fire, and those are the longest books ever. So by the time I finish those, get through Harry Potter a second time, it'll probably be like March. You prick. I think that's what you just called me. Now that you're through the Harry Potter books, thoughts on a lot of Harry Potter questions. Real life Quidditch and the Canadian champions Valhalla Quidditch from Toronto. Really? How do you play real life Quidditch? The whole thing about Quidditch is you fly around. You can't do that here. I don't know what I think. I think I need to Google this. What I need to do. Steve, big fan and former Easter Seals camper. Hey, me too. Though it's preseason, are you worried about the Leafs defense in regular season? By the way, we only got a little over 5 minutes left before the end of the stream. So if you were thinking about donating, get it in now. All your super chat money goes towards Easter Seals Canada, and I will be forever grateful. Thank you very much. Though it's preseason, are you worried about the Leafs in the regular season is what you asked me. No. The Leafs didn't have the greatest defense last year, and they got by just fine. And I would argue that their defense got better. Ron Hainsey got older, granted. Roman Polak's gone, though, and I don't care what you say, that's a plus. And they have the guys in the system to fill those bottom pair roles. It's going to take some fidgeting, and some guys are going to fall on their face, and they're going to look bad some nights, and you're going to be frustrated. But I think they'll ultimately be okay. My biggest concern right now with the Leafs defense is the health of Travis Dermott. I hope he's okay. When I heard it was his shoulder, I was like, because that was his playoff injury in the AHL last year. Ooh, Favorite Stranger Things character? I mean, 11's super badass. Who's the kid with, like, no teeth? That one. He swears a lot. I like them all. I like all those kids. Caleb Buchanan. Hey, Steve. Sorry about retracting my other comment. But do you think Linus Omark from UFA, or he's a UFA, I'm not sure, will ever make it back to the NHL? He had 55 points in 55 games. I don't know if he would ever try, to be honest. I think some people, when they have a negative experience in the NHL and then they go over to the KHL or Europe, whatever, and kick complete ass, and they're from Europe, they just stay there because they know they're going to have fun. And they make a good living and they're enjoying their life. So I'm not certain he'll try to come back unless he's given the money to come back, and I'm just not sure anyone's really going to offer that to him. Josh BLT. Ah, yes, Mr. $60 Reimer toy himself. Figure, sir. Where is it? Oh, my back. Right here. I love him. Dan True got a voodoo wizardry and bullshit shirt. Love supporting you, Steve. Thank you. And can't wear the shirt when the Leafs. Can't wait to wear the shirt when the Leafs come to Boston. Can Bergie get a hat trick? No! Why would you say that? Why would you say that? No. Oh, did you get the black and yellow one? I was going to say, you could wear blue and white to that game and people wouldn't maybe chirp you. Because they wouldn't, I mean, who the hell would know what my shirts are in Boston? No! Why would you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby? No! Bad. How dare you? Now that we're almost done, how much money have we raised for Easter seals? Where can I find that total? Why can't I see that total? I don't know why. Well, I'm sure it's a good number. And it's not about, well, I was about to say it's not about the money. If it were for me, it's not about the money, but it's obviously not for me. It's for Easter Seals Ontario. Anything else? Any final questions? Seems like we've exhausted the super chat. I'll go to the regular one and watch your questions as zoom by me. Ooh, Domi or Tucker? Ooh, that's tough. Domi was so much more of my like childhood. He was a Leaf longer and earlier, so I got that Domi nostalgia. But I'd say Darcy Tucker. He's probably the better Leaf, right? He did it all. But Domi was the sheriff for a long time. But I'd go with Tucker. I got to ride the bus when I went to Game 2 in Boston last year with Darcy Tucker, and we had a little heart-to-heart, and that guy's legitimately, like, that whole crazy eyes thing where he smiled when he fought guys. No, that's real. That's what Darcy Tucker is. And if he ever chose to get into broadcasting, he'd be a gift. He would be an actual gift. Oh my goodness. The stream is going goofy. I am tired. Oh my god. Okay, a couple last questions before we go. Steve, what do you think of the Max Domi suspension? Joke. Total joke. He's got to miss regular season games. No one cares. And then I saw people going, well, they're actually important games that Domi's missing because he's joined a new team. Who cares what those games mean to Max Domi? He's the offender. It does not matter what Max Domi's situation is. He's the offender. I don't care if you just joined a new team. What, if he had been on the Habs for 5 years, he'd get a game then? That's stupid. That's really, really stupid. Well, you know, Ekblad shouldn't have been slashing and he should have defended himself. Okay, he should have defended himself and you're not allowed to slash. You know what else you're not allowed to do? Cold cock a guy in the face barehanded. Can't do it. Suspended the rest of the regular season. Ooh. Bet he's shaking. Friggin' joke. Michael Bell, $2. Thank you very much. Freddie and Willie for Ekblad and Reimer. Don't do that to me. Don't do that. I'm not answering that question on principle. How dare you do that to me, sir? Who would win the Calder Cup this year? Ooh, it's going to be difficult for the Marlies to repeat. I mean, a lot of things went well, and they're going to have a couple graduates. Andreas Janssen is going to be a huge loss for them. Travis Dermott as well. Well, depending on who makes the Canucks this year, it could be the Canucks. But that's a lot of ifs and buts, right? You don't know who's going to make the team. That is it. That is it for this one. We have reached an hour. Thank you so much. This was all about, well, it was a little bit of me not wanting to edit a video. I'm not going to lie. It was a little bit of that. But primarily, was to raise money for the Celebrity Hockey Classic, my team in it, where we are raising money for Easter Seals, Ontario. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much if you donated. And I will see you another time. Brand new Panago Pizza Steve Dangle podcast tomorrow. I recently tweeted that my book is on pre-order, and you can check that out. But I don't want to bug you too much about it. I don't want to bug you too much. You know I'm writing a book. I've mentioned it a couple times. That's it.